Hey everyone, Kelly here. I hope you guys are doing well. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, and even though I'm not a big football fan, I live in Kansas City, and today our boys are playing. I hope that both teams play well so that no matter who wins, everybody leaves feeling satisfied that they gave it everything they had. That's my idea of great competition. The opposition inspires you to do your very best, and if they beat you, well, that was some achievement. And if you win, you worked hard for it and you earned it. I'm kind of missing that friendly competition lately. I mean, competition is probably overstating it. I'm missing that in-person community of artists, like in a class where we're all working on the same assignment, but everyone brings something completely different to it. And we all compare notes and ideas. And in the end, everyone comes out of it richer for the experience. But unfortunately, every art class isn't like that. So last fall, I went looking online, hunting for something, and I noticed that Jenny Granberry had an online journaling class. So I took it, and I got a lot out of it. Seeing everyone else's journal entries and listening to them talk about the experiences that drove those entries was super inspiring. And I got past the whole sketchbook anxiety, and I think I can honestly say that it's gone. And I only really think about it when it dawns on me that it isn't a thing anymore. So I've kept up the journaling, but in different sketchbooks and different media. This little drawing is a journal entry that I made in a new sketchbook that I made because I really like to make sketchbooks. But anyway, it's the first entry, and maybe someday my sketchbooks will look like works of art in their own right, but if they never are, that's honestly okay with me. I'll briefly share what was going on in this drawing, and hopefully it's not cringe oversharing. But, I think it's relevant to this. You guys may have noticed the red rings on my hands. I've been battling granuloma annulare for about 5 years. And last year it spread to my hands right as I started getting really serious about posting YouTube videos of my hands making art. I was like, really? Really? Anyway, I've taken oral medication and used steroid creams and upped my vitamin E and on and on. I've been to a really good dermatologist, and nothing in my blood work indicates like an autoimmune disorder. I did have some dizziness, and they even gave me an MRI head scan, and thankfully my brain is unremarkable, and that's a good thing. But my nurse practitioner left our practice, and I got a new doctor. And this was just this year. And she took a look at my hands and my arms and looked at my records and asked me what my stress was like and why I had the head scan. And I told her I had some dizziness and some other things. And she said, I think you've got long-term acute grief. So I want you to go see a therapist. And I told her I really didn't agree, and that everyone in my age group, a lot of my friends are dealing with the same thing, aging and dying relatives and COVID and, just a number of things. And she said, well, darling, it's getting under your skin and it's all over your arms and your hands. So I think you should really go. And what's interesting is that last year about this time, I tried to get in, and I couldn't get in for 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months. And I told her that. I said, in 6 months, I'm probably going to be fine. And she said, well, I don't think so, but you should go. And so she referred me. And what's very interesting is I guess the psych practices take it a lot more seriously if your physician calls it in and says you need to go, because I had an appointment in 2 weeks. So at any rate, I've been doing that. I think it's helping. I don't think that the rings on my hands are nearly as red, and They're not as bumpy for sure. So maybe it was a good thing. But interestingly, one of the things that my therapist told me I should do was maybe do some art journaling. Like, duh. So, anyway, that's probably why I haven't been here as frequently. And I'm not, listen, you guys, I don't need sympathy. I don't need anyone to say, I'm so sorry for you. I really do believe this is something that a lot of us are going through right now. And we don't even know we're experiencing what we're experiencing because we're just trying to get through all the things we have to do and our responsibilities. And for me, it's coming out on my hands and my arms and my skin. So I think the main thing is that I want to tell you is that grief can be very lonely sometimes because everyone's experiences are different. And if you start to talk about it to even a good friend, sometimes sharing those details just re-triggers the whole thing for you. And so you don't want to do it. And then that can make you feel isolated and lonely. So you just kind of stuff the grief. You just kind of ignore it. But it's a process and you just kind of have to go through it, you know. And I think I'm a lot better than I was last year at this time. I can talk about it a lot more and I'm not as re-triggered. But anyway, be kind to yourself if you are going through this and just be persistent to look for ways to help yourself and maybe do some journaling. So back to this drawing here. I guess in a way this is me. I've been really careful to avoid hyperbole and watching the news all the time. I've avoided gossip, any unnecessary negativity, because there's just been so much of it lately. So I guess that's why she doesn't have any eyes or ears or a mouth. And I really didn't think about it while I was drawing it at all. I think it's subconscious. Even the patterns on her dress kind of mimic the lesions on my skin. Lesions is kind of a weird word. I always thought of lesions as open wounds or, I don't know. Well, let's light things up a little bit. I never want to leave you feeling anything but uplifted when you leave here. So I'll tell you a little story. Okay, this is kind of a funny story about someone. I read this in the paper, and this woman graduated from high school like 45 years ago. And she's going to the dentist, and she's got a new dentist, and she sees his like certificate on the wall. And the name sounds really familiar. And she starts to think about it. And she remembers this boy that she had a big crush on in high school. And she starts to get a little bit excited, wondering if it's going to be the same guy. And he comes in, checks out her teeth, and he's this old, balding, paunchy dude. And she's like, no, it's not him. But she kept thinking about it. So she asked him, did you go to Acme High School? And he said, yes, I did. And she said, what year did you graduate? So he tells her, and it's the same year that she went. And she said, you were in my class. So he looks and he thinks about it and he looks at her. He doesn't really recognize her. And he goes, what did you teach? Well, okay. I'm not really sure how uplifting that was, but I thought it was really funny when I read it and I laughed out loud. So there you go, your moment of hilarity and laughing at ourselves as we get older. And anyway, you guys, I'm really glad you're here. And even though I haven't been posting very regularly, please don't run off. I'll be here. I promise I'll be back. And in the meantime, take it easy. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that so much. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.